Hello my beautiful friends and welcome back. So today I thought we would just sit down and have a little bit of a catch up, as I realised we haven't sat down and just had a chat since I moved home from Dublin. So that was last year, so I feel like it's about time we sit down and catch up, you know? It is absolutely lashing rain outside today and I just love when you're inside all cozy and warm and you can just hear the sound of the rain smacking off the ground. It's literally one of my all-time favourite sounds. But yeah, before we dive on into the questions today, I would just like to thank Fabletics for sponsoring today's video, my all-time favourite activewear brand, as I'm sure you guys are aware by now. So this month new VIPs can actually avail of two offers, so you can get 50% off all single items and also two leggings for £24, and then they also launch new collections on the 1st of every month and then also on every single Thursday. Maddie Ziegler, I think that's how you say her name, it's definitely not how you say her name, actually launched a new collection with them as well, and it's full of like pastels and neon colours and it's so perfect for summertime. This neon green tracksuit is also included in her collection and it's just so sick. I love how she kind of brought the greens, which were super popular this winter spring just gone, and she incorporated it into a summer collection by making it neon green. Like, I thought that was a really clever idea on her behalf. I've genuinely been living in their cycling shorts the last couple months because it has been pretty warm here in Ireland. And also, just to let you know, Diarmuid also approves of Fabletics and how my bum looks in Fabletics. Like, just putting that out there, they really do give your bum that little bit of a lift. But I couldn't recommend the seamless cycling shorts enough. Like, they're just like a second skin. They're so comfortable and they're so flattering on the body. For me, there's just no comparison to any other activewear brand. Like, I have bought from pretty much every popular activewear brand over the years, and the price and quality that Fabletics offers you cannot get out there. Like, it's not on the market, it doesn't exist. And then the variety that they offer, they're constantly bringing out new launches, and then the size inclusivity part of it as well. Like, they're just such an amazing brand and I freaking love them. So yeah, I'll leave a link down below if you are interested. And now get on to the juiciness. I genuinely don't know what's going on with my hair today. I think there is a family of birds nesting up there, so we will not disturb them. Okay, so are you and your boyfriend living with your parents and why? Yeah, so me and my boyfriend are currently staying with my parents, and the reason for that is when we got together we went into a lockdown super soon after, so our options were to either move in together or just stay apart until the lockdown was over, which there was no end date in sight. So obviously that wasn't even an option for us, so we chose the first option, which was move in together. And because we pretty much had to move in from get-go, from as soon as our relationship began, I feel like it kind of brought our relationship on much quicker than it would have had we have not been living together. So we're together 6 months now, so I'd say had we have not been living together and we were living apart, I feel like where we're at in our relationship now, we wouldn't have been at this place until like another year or something if we were living in our own houses, because I'm sure a lot of you guys know, like, when you're living with someone and you're spending so much time with someone, it's going to make or break you. Like, that's just the matter of fact. So it really did make us, and I'm really grateful. I'm kind of so happy that we did have to move in together because we're just like so secure together now. And yeah. Okay, so how are you finding it back living with your parents? Had to move home during Corona and I'm struggling. And then another one, you guys said that you're cracking up in your home house and can't wait to get your own place. Yes. I have really struggled since I moved home. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna put it on the fucking table. I've really struggled moving back to my parents' house. It is not something that I was prepared for. I genuinely had no idea how hard of an adjustment it would be to move back to my parents' house after being moved out of their house for a whole year, because when you move out of your parents' house you gain a lot of independence and, you know, you just have your own freedom and your own privacy, and you kind of really grow a lot into your own person. Like, I feel like in that year I moved out at home, I did grow so much, and I'm such a different person now than the person I was when I lived with my parents before. So trying to come back into your parents' house and their rules and their environment and their life, and you trying to slot in, it's fucking impossible, I think. I've really struggled with the lack of freedom, privacy and independence. And then also I've got a lot of bad memories in this house, if I'm being honest, and it's like not my favourite place to be. I feel like that's something else that a lot of people can relate to, is like the home they grew up in, you've got a lot of memories attached. Like, all my teenage years were spent in this house, and my teenage years were fucking hell, like absolute hell. They were a shit show. Which moves us on to our next question, which is, are you and Diarmuid looking for your own place? Yes, me and Diarmuid are looking for our own place, and we have been looking, I'd say the last 2 months we have been actively looking and kind of keeping an eye on things. We've already contacted our letting agent and let them know that we're looking for a place, so we're down on the list. But to be honest, it has been a little bit frustrating looking for somewhere because we want to stay down the country, like we want to stay where we are for the time being, for 2 reasons. One being that Jeremy has his barbershop down here, and the second one being that I'm in a therapy program which I've committed myself to for the year, so it will end like in January maybe. So we want to stay here obviously for the time being, and there's such a lack of properties around where we're currently living. Like for rent, there's literally nothing, and anything that is up for rent literally looks like it hasn't been touched in 10 years. Like, you know, them really derelict properties that are just left there, and then 10 years later maybe the son or daughter is like, actually we should probably put that up for rent and make a few bob, you know, and they've literally not touched the place, and it's literally like so outdated, moles up in the fucking corner of the ceiling, like a whole thing. But I suppose the only one good thing is that when we do find a place, it's a lot more affordable to live down here versus in Dublin. So like we'll probably get a 3-bed house for maybe €700 a month, versus the apartment I was living in Dublin, a 2-bed apartment, was $1,900 a month. So the price bracket difference is huge. So what you're going to get for your money's worth will be much better versus being in a city or something. But I just am praying, like I really hope somewhere suitable comes up for us soon, because it's like a huge priority of both of ours now. Like we just want nothing more than to have our own space, like our own fucking privacy, and just like that bit of freedom. Moving on. So why did you break up with Jeremy in the first place? This is a question I've gotten a lot of since I put up the video. I think it's time to share this, and I shared the story of me and Jeremy with you guys. So me and Jeremy were never in a relationship before. We never had a label on it. We weren't boyfriend, girlfriend. We weren't exclusive. We were just dating. We were like casually seeing each other. We were seeing each other, but we had no like label on it. You know, it was communicated that there was feelings involved, but there was no label. So we technically never broke up. I just kind of like cut ties after something had happened, which I'm not going to go into because it's really unnecessary. Like it was years ago, but yeah, something happened and I cut ties, but it wasn't a breakup. So technically he's not my ex, like he technically is, but you know what I mean, like I never actually went out with him. So I genuinely could never go back to somebody who I was in a relationship with before, because I feel like there's just too much shit there. Whereas with Jeremy it just kind of felt a bit different, because we were only dating for a couple months, and it was also like 5 years ago when we were so much younger. So yeah, in my head it wasn't like I was going back to an ex, even though I get how that it would come across like that to a lot of people. So did you have moments when you thought it was too soon for a new relationship? I thought this was a good question. Yes, definitely. Not that I thought it was too soon. Like I never questioned, did I want to be in a relationship with Jeremy? Like that was no questions asked. I was more so just freaking terrified, because I didn't see myself getting into a relationship for a really long time. So the fact that it kind of came on so soon, I was just in like shock, and I was just like, oh my god, like fuck. To be honest with you, the way I kind of looked at it was that like I wasn't going to let my ex, who hurt me so badly, dictate my life anymore, if that makes sense. Like I'm not gonna let him hurt me anymore and stop me anymore and get in my way anymore. Like that's done, you know. I am now doing things for me. This feels right. I've never felt like this with somebody. I kind of had to sit myself down and be like, this is scary, yes, but he is not your ex. Okay, and they're completely different people, and what have you got to lose here? Like I couldn't deny the way I felt. I couldn't deny what me and Jeremy had together, and was I gonna let that get away? Was I letting anyone get in the way of what had just come into my life, you know what I mean? And also it was just like when I moved home from Dublin, and when he did come back into my life, it was like just like all the stars aligned. Do you know when it was like a really shitty year, and so many things had happened in that year where I just lay in bed and I'd be like, why, like, you know, just like at the universe, like, why, what's going on? And it was like when everything kind of happened with Jeremy, it was like it all made sense. It's like, I know why that happened. I know why that thing last year happened. Do you get what I'm saying? Like it all just lined up. You know, I was scared, but is the best thing I ever did. The best things in life always come from you being a little bit scared or a little bit nervous in the beginning, because you don't know how it's going to pan out. It could go tits up, it could go really fucking shit show, or it could be the most beautiful, magical, amazing experience of your life, and you're never gonna know unless you give it a go. I can't get over how many questions are involved in Jermid, but I kind of get why, because I suppose I've not answered any of your questions. I've not done a Q&A like this since I told you guys about a relationship. My family didn't like your ex and now they're a bit reserved of Jermid. No, my family adore Jermid, like they literally adore him. Jermid is definitely their favourite partner I've ever had. Like, it was instant. It was instant that he clicked, and kind of, it was like he was always part of the family, if I'm being honest. And it's really funny because my parents had heard Jermid's name thrown around a lot over the years, from me talking about him, from when I was seeing him, from him just texting me, and I'd be like, oh, you won't guess who's texting me again, and I'd be like, Jermid, and you know, so his name had kind of been floating around this house for years. And then when he did finally come in, he literally, it was like he was always here. He's just fitting so well. They've also said to me like that they know it's endgame for me, like no questions asked, and they've never said anything like that ever before. So that really kind of tells me a lot. You grew up with super chill parents? No, absolutely not. I wouldn't say that my parents were chill at all. Like, I had a couple of friends who had super chill parents, but like, what kind of class is a super chill parent, right? So, for example, my first ever boyfriend, he wasn't allowed upstairs. So, like, he never, ever went up the stairs in my house. I wasn't allowed to drink. Like, I wasn't allowed to go out and party and, like, go to a party drinking until I was, like, 17, I want to say. Which I feel was a lot older than the people around me, like what they were doing. I remember one time when I went to like a teenage disco, I wore like a little mini skirt and like knee-high socks, and basically my auntie ratted on me. I had put it up as like my Facebook profile picture, and my auntie had like rang my mum, and she ratted on me being like, did you see what your daughter put up on Facebook? And my mum was like, Jessica! And I was like, oh my goodness, like I'm only like 14 at this time, bearing in mind. And yeah, it was a whole thing, and I was grounded for way too long if you ask me. And yeah, like I was really scared to do anything kind of out of line. And then when I got to like 17, I feel like I started to rebel a bit, because I feel like they weren't chill. So that's when I kind of got to 17, 18, I was kind of like, okay, you want your first child in the next 5 years. Actually, to my surprise, Jermid wants a baby even before me, which is just mad. So like, I've always said I'd like to have my first child when I was maybe like 28, 29, and Jermid said that he'd like to have his first by the time he's like 30, and he's 26 in like a week. So that's 4 years. 4 years. It's actually so nice to be with somebody who's on the same kind of wavelength as you when it comes to things like kids and getting a house and buying a house and really big life events. I feel like it's so important, because like even in past relationships, like there was big life event things that we just didn't agree on, and our opinions really clashed, whereas mine and Jeremy's like really line up, and it makes such a difference. But all I know is I probably most definitely will have a baby before I'm 30, or by the time I'm 30 I'll definitely have a baby for sure. In the next 5 years, I don't know, we're just gonna have to see what happens. But we really want to like travel and have our own house and all that kind of shit before we would even think of having a child, because I'm currently in the process of undoing all the trauma I have, and I don't want to pass any fucking trauma onto any of my kids. And that is something that is so important to me, and something that I stand behind so strongly, is that before I have a baby and before I bring a child into this world, that me and baby daddy are in such a strong place mentally, and we've sorted out our own shit. Like, I don't mean strong place mentally, but I mean that we've sorted out our own shit, and we've got on top of our own crap, and we've sorted out our own minds. Because I feel like too many people like bring babies into this world and they haven't worked on themselves, and then the baby suffers that then, and that rubs off on the baby, and the baby will struggle, and then the baby's going to grow up with all these fucking problems and issues and drama and things that rubbed off on the baby that could have been avoided. Like, for example, had the you know, parents gone to therapy and sorted out their own crap. But yeah, that's really important to me. Why am I going on such a tangent? I just haven't sat down and talked to you guys in so long. I feel like I have so much to say. You love partying despite being an introvert. I am no longer the party friend. I am the spa friend. I am the shopping friend. I am let's sit and have a coffee and contemplate life and what other species there are out there friend. That is the kind of friend I now am. I genuinely, you know, I really don't have an interest in partying anymore. I was never a session kind of girl. Like, I was never a girl, someone who would go out, oh my god, what is my hair doing? Wow. I literally, do you know what? That's actually something I don't do enough of. Is I don't look in the viewfinder when I'm recording. I look at you like I look in this thing. So anytime there's like something on my face or my hair looks mental, I don't know. But yeah, I never kind of went on like, you know, went out for 2 whole nights. You know when you go out for a night and you carry it on into the next day and the next night and you just keep sessioning. I've never done that. Like, I've only ever done like one night, gone just stay for like one night of partying and then gone home and then you're dying with a hangover the next day. But I can't hack the hangovers. Like, I get such bad anxiety, I get such bad fear. What did I say? What did I do? To be honest, I've always kind of been that way with partying and drinking. Like, I'll go on a night out and then I'll be pretty happy with that for another few months, and then another few months will pass and I might have another night out and then that'll do me. So I've never kind of been like every night yup. Do you know what makes me really sad is, like, in Ireland anyways, I don't know what it's like in other countries, but like most socialising is like built around drinking, and I hate that. Like, I don't want to have to go and drink to socialise. Like, why can't we go to the spa and socialise, or just go for a big walk and socialise, or just like sit on the fucking bed and talk about life, socialise? Like, I don't know. It just really annoys me how in Ireland, like, that's where most of the socialising is done. I've been sat here ranting and raving for the last 2 hours and this bird's nest on my head is growing by the minute. So I'm going to leave it here for today's video, but I hope you guys enjoyed, and don't forget to check out Fabletics. I'll leave the link down below if you are interested. I just love sitting down. I love these videos, like these really chilled out where we just kind of can have like a bit of an intimate conversation and it's really chill and cozy. They're my favourite. But yeah, I love you all so very much and I cannot wait to see you all in my next video. Bye bye, friends.